Hi guys, and welcome to the first part of the Find Your Key experience. So the important part about finding your key is to break out of your cage, which is the whole point. This is the golden cage, whatever your golden cage should look like. And before we go any further, I just want to say that yes, I live on a boat. Yes, at the present moment, this is June 2018. I am in Martinique, and the plan is to sail to Tobago for the hurricane season, or at least part of the hurricane season. The cage that you are in, getting out of it doesn't mean necessarily travel. It can mean travel. Of course, it'd be fantastic. That's my passion, so I totally understand if your passion is all about getting out there and spending your life traveling, either by motorcycle or by sailboat or backpacking or, you know, Airbnb-ing it around the world for a couple of months at a time, whatever your visa allows you. So I definitely understand that passion, and I've been there and I do it, and that's my particular form of cage to escape is through travel. I love travel. At the same time, if there was one thing that I really learned through having children, is that it doesn't matter where you go, life is always there. And I found that the couple years I was in Berlin, even though I loved the idea of traveling and whatnot, and other things in my life definitely went very, very wrong, I really did though love Berlin. And it was the first time in my life that I felt content to be in a city without having to travel, or at least to have a home base for the first time ever. Let's say it that way. I still needed to travel, let's face it. I was still every couple of months going someplace for anywhere from a couple of weeks to a month at a time. So my cage and the cage I escape has been giving up the idea of a permanent safety net of a job that, you know, gives you, I want to say rented because I live in Germany, but it's not. It's pension. And the idea that, you know, a secure job means that I have money every month and that I can pay for my house, my kids, and feed them and everything else. And this idea that nothing bad will ever happen because, you know, horrible things can happen while you're sailing. What about your kid getting sick while you sail? Because, you know, she often gets seasick. But nobody stops traveling by car because their kid gets car sick, you know, but, you know, seasick, well, that's horrible. Why would you do that to your child? And so this is actually a really important thing, and the step part one of outside the cage. You'll never find your key if you do not define for yourself what your key is. This is the very number one most important part of your experience, and this is what the first workbook and this first video is about, is looking into why you do what you do and trying to decide for yourself what would freedom look like. And you know what? This is the very important thing. I want number one video because we can do whole courses, and this is what the membership site is about, is looking into this. But the one little tiny piece that I can give you right now without having to spend months or years looking into this is stop shooting all of yourself. That's number one. Make a list of all the things you feel you should do. And I actually learned this from my my own sensei, my coach, over the Serious Joy app, which if you are at all inclined towards astrology, I highly recommend. Email me and I will send you a link through there, and I will definitely send you my affiliate link, but it's like a coffee. It's my affiliate is not very high, but the point being is that I want to track. I'm a bit of a geek for tracking, and I want to be able to show him that don't spend money on ads, that word of mouth is way better because he's phenomenal. Something to think about your own life too. But I also digress sometimes. That's okay. That's who I am. So the point being is that he says, stop shooting all over yourself. I love that. Isn't that such a good thing? Like, isn't that such a great saying? Stop shooting all over yourself? Because that's exactly what we do all the time. I should do this. I should do that. I should do this. And as long as you're shooting, your head is talking, not your heart. And if you want to break out of your cage, you have to start letting your heart take the lead. Now, I admit sometimes our heart is a little bit dangerous and can make leaps and jumps. Sometimes you want the brain to talk. This all comes with practice and self-knowledge. This is not something you're going to get out of a 2-minute video. But just being aware of that, that's the step number one. Where am I shooting all over myself? What do I tell myself I should do? And then why? Why? So for a long time, I told myself as a new mom that I should be available to my child all the time. And I refused to give myself daycare because I was at home. I was home. I don't need daycare. I'm a mom at home. I was a single mom, home alone. My partner basically made me a startup widow. I The baby was born at 5 a.m. He went home at 9 a.m. and he was back at work at 1 p.m. I was the only new mom in that hospital all week long without her partner. They all had their husbands or their boyfriends with them. I was by myself because he was at work. And that pretty much set the tone and the stage for the rest of, right up until we sailed away, basically, that he was constantly at work. So on the one hand, you know, I had a partner, and on the other hand, I never saw him. He left, basically he woke up, he went to work, he came home, ate supper, went to bed. This happened for about 4 years, and I was a single mom for 4 years. And I didn't even have the luxury of parents or family, because his family were in Switzerland, we were in Berlin. My family were in Canada. It's across the ocean, you know, at least. But truthfully, it was about the same amount of time, because to fly to Canada was about 12 hours if I got the flight through London. And for his family to come, if it was an emergency, it took anywhere from 6 to 8 hours. 6 hours by the time they actually got to the airport, waited to board, flew and got there, or 8 hours if they took the car and just came straight to us. So needless to say, it wasn't a case of me picking up the phone and saying, can you come over, I need a break. So I was basically all by myself, trying to take care of a small child, and refusing to allow myself those breaks. I wasn't allowing myself to have time. I wasn't allowing myself to write, because she needed me, and I really believed that. And she did need me, but she didn't need me 24/7. I could have had a babysitter. I could have allowed myself those breaks. In fact, I should have given myself those breaks. And I didn't, because I believed I should be there all the time. So stop shooting all over yourself. So that's what I want you to do. First thing for your Find Your Key experience is sit down and make a list of all the things that you feel you should do, and then find out if you really should do them or not. You know, like, yeah, you probably should pay your taxes, but should you be in a job that you hate so that you can afford 2 cars? That might be a different should that you don't need. And until you start figuring out what makes you tick, and why you do the things you do, and what things you're doing because you feel you should, and what things you do because it lights you up, you will never find out who your freedom thieves are and how they have control over you, which will be the next video.